Today on World History, we're going to be talking about Alexander the Great. Let's go for a spin. Alexander the Great was a Macedonian king who lived from 323 BC all the way to 356 BC, which is not a very long time, and he was a great king, which is why sometimes he gets called Alexander the Great. Something that I usually get asked by people all the time is, was Alexander actually great? And to that, I just have to say, the proof is in the pudding. He was a king. Kings are usually pretty great. There's not many times when people have said, "Oh, that king isn't really that cool or good or great." So there's two sports teams called the Kings, and they are actually both not so good right now, but they have been great before. I actually have to go into my bank and make a deposit, a money deposit. So I have to take a break for a second. Hi. Good, how are you? My deposit means, are they going to go through today, or should I cash them in possibly cash?
So the thing with checks, today is the 22nd. After they're in there, it's technically kind of like giving you like a loan until they actually are sent to the Fed and cleared out of the account holder's account.
Okay.
So I mean, if you don't have any fears that like there's something fraudulent or they don't have the funds in there, we can deposit and you can use it right away. So it's kind of like the same thing if you were to get cash back on them, then redeposit the cash. So basically doesn't really make a difference. But
Okay, yeah, I mean, I have no reason to believe that.
they wouldn't have the money, yeah.
As long as you're going to avoid the further overdraft.
So now your new available is the 122. Nope.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't mean to brag, but I just thought you'd like to know. It's like I'm putting like $700 in the account, so I'm the real deal. I can do it. Another thing about Alexander the Great, what made him great, like why was he great? He actually conquered Persia and Syria and the Punjab and Bactria and Mesopotamia, and I think also Egypt. And that's why if you think about it, a lot of people live there now, and they're all going to say that he's great. So I guess that's why there's a lot of construction going on around here. So I'm gonna go take a little turn down this road. And Alexander the Great's father was Philip II, and he was Alexander III, which I don't really understand how that worked. Another thing about Alexander the Great is when you look him up online, he has a lot of statues of him with his shirt off. So it's probably not something that you want to be doing at work. Just think about Alexander the Great's army. They're all thousands of guys. They all have their shirts off. They got spears out. It's I like to come down to this field lots of times and just imagine Alexander the Great's huge army just marching across this field, and I'm just imagine that, and it's wow, that's really cool. Another NSWF thing about Alexander the Great to not look up is that if you go on his Wikipedia page, there's a part on there that says royal titulary, and I think that's probably not... I understand that the Greeks liked that kind of stuff back then, and they probably had a big room full of them, but I just don't think that that's something that you should be clicking on at work. Definitely don't make a joke to your boss that she has royal titulary, because then unless you know that you're already going to get fired, then you can do that. He died in the great city of Babylon. Alexander the Great, he dissolved his empire, fell apart, and his generals and heirs took it over and started a civil war. But there was 20 cities named after him. So you got Alexandria, and then it goes on, and it's Alexandria, Egypt, and probably not the one in Virginia, but do they count that one? I don't know. So I would have to email me if you know the answer to that one, because I really need... I would like to check it for you to see if you got my trivia question just now. Was Alexandria, Virginia, named after Alexander the Great because he conquered it? So that's my trivia question of the day, and you get back to me, and then I will let you know what the answer is. So we will find out soon. I always say, if Alexander the Great had a cow, it would probably be that cow right there, because it's big. thing that Alexander the Great once said was, he's famously quoted as saying, "If I were not Alexander, I would like to be Diogenes," which I think shows that he didn't like the name Alexander. He thought it was kind of nerdy, and that I don't really know what Diogenes are, but I assume that he was saying that if I can't be Alexander, I don't want to be a human. I want to be these Diogenes. So that he was saying that I'm so great that if I ever am not allowed to be myself, then I want to be something else completely. Then I can also I can start anew. Another thing he said was that I had rather extend the knowledge of that which is excellent rather than the knowledge of the extent of my power and dominion, which he had such a lot of power and a whole bunch of dominion. His dominion was really big. Like, it was, like I said, it was Egypt, which is, I think, part of Africa, and it might have even been in Saudi Arabia, and he could have gone all the way to, like, Asia. So he had a lot of dominion, and he was very, very powerful. Another cool thing about Alexander the Great history is that in Alexandria there is the Great Library of Alexandria, and it was built thousands of years ago, and it's really cool. Like, I've actually been there, and you go in and it's like, wow, there's all these scrolls and hardcovers and like really old stuff. And like I learned a whole lot when I was there, and what I came away with was that this is a really really important time in history, and if you don't know anything about it, then you're gonna be pretty lost. So, Great Library of Alexandria. I know most of you can't go there because you can't afford it, but I've been there, and I ask me, because I know all about, because I have a degree. I know some history. So, and there used to be a train here, and I like to come out here lots of times and think, wow, there was a train really close, and I just think it's really cool to think about trains. And I think that if I were here when there was a train on here, and what if Alexander the Great had a train? Then maybe his empire would still be an empire, because it would not have, people would have been able to go to work. People from Alexandria could go to work in the other Alexandria, and they could find out more about okay, so when I go on train rides, when I take the train, I do it with my family, and I think it brings us all together to be on a train, and I just really enjoy listening to the steam engine and the pistons going, and you really get into that rhythm with it, and it's like you're having a moment with this train, and your whole family's there, and you're really vibing on this train. And I think that if the Romans had gone down to Egypt with a train, then Alexander the Great might even still have been alive a little bit later than he was. I don't think this is where I'm supposed to be. I've never been here in my life, and it's like, I'm not scared of it. Like, I'm not really scared right now, but I think that, you know how people are. Like, I could die. I could be killed, and I think that I really need to. I need to turn around as soon as I can, because okay, so looks like they're on to me. So I definitely know I shouldn't be here. So I'm going. Bye. Okay. All right. So I saw. Okay. I'm back on the paved road. I'm back on the paved road. I think if I hurry up, I can make a few turns, and then no one will know any better. So I'm gonna really get going here. Okay, I'm being followed. All right, so I'm being followed, and I need to just keep going. Okay. Following the battles in Persia, Alexander the Great conquered Anatolia, and he overthrew King Darius III in Persia, and then he went on to become the great king of Egypt. And he doesn't know what. Well, that's all I have time for today. I'm not really sure that lady was following me or not, but I'm just gonna get back in the car here and tell all my Patreon supporters out there, stay Alexander the Great, and I'll see you next time. Remember, like Alexander the Great always says, sleeping and sex, that's how I know I'm mortal. So keep it mortal, my brothers. And now it's time for a parody that is an original parody by me. I wrote it to help you remember Alexander the Great and everything that you learned about him. And this is something that's like really clever that people who are clever do on YouTube. So here it goes. Why do you build me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down and mess me around? And then worst of all, you never call baby when you say you will, but I love you still. I need you more than anyone, Alex. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup, don't grate my heart. Dun-na, dun-na-na-na-na. Alexander the Great, he conquered Egypt, and he's Macedonian, but he also conquered Mesopotamia too, and then and some bacteria. Hey, 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 baby, the time is right. Hey, 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 it's time for him to get a library. I'm on the phone. I'll be beside the phone waiting for you. Ooh, ooh, what? And then it just kind of repeats, and that's how you remember Alexander the Great.